A crypto-related fraud case targeting the Latino community. KPRC2 Investigates first told you about Mauricio Chavez back in January of this year. The Securities and Exchange Commission alleges Chavez and his business partners stole millions of dollars from hopeful investors. KPRC2's Bill Barajas was in federal court this morning where a hearing was held. And Bill, we understand victims of the alleged scheme showed up in court to show just how many people were affected.
Yeah, about a dozen of the 5,000 or so families federal investigators say were swindled showed up, many telling us they are out hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Fed saying Chavez, a landscaper turned cryptocurrency trading expert, and his partners raised more than $12 million from their alleged victims in places like Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, and Chicago. These people here say they were all once hopeful investors. Now they find themselves alongside Fiel, a civil rights organization holding a rally and protest outside the federal courthouse.
Estamos pidiendo justicia.
Juan Cornejo said, "We are asking for justice, for help to recover everything that we've invested." What seemed like an opportunity has now cost them their life savings. Maite Lozano said,
Yo, mis hijos y mis suegros.
"My children, my in-laws, and I invested about $180,000 total, and we didn't see any return." Federal investigators say this is the man at the center of it all. Mauricio Chavez, the company owned by Chavez, Crypto FX. The business operated out of this building. It was here that investigators say Chavez and company employees held classes, accepted money, and made payouts.
The promise was to invest some money and then you would get a 15% return. And maybe it worked like the first time, the second time, but then they invented this concept of the rollover, which is get your money back in the game so then you can make more money. And this is how people were scamming. At the end of the day, they end up closing shop. And none of these people were paid.
An SEC complaint says it started in 2020, but alleges Chavez had no background, education, or training in investments or crypto assets. The SEC says rather than use investor funds for crypto trading, Chavez used it to fund his luxury lifestyle. We're talking fancy cars and high-dollar hotels. Chavez did not appear in federal court this morning, but those who did say they were optimistic about the judge's decision-making.
He wants to expedite this case or move it quickly and resolve it within the next couple of weeks, because he says that the attorney's fees for both the receivership and Mr. Chavez's attorneys are adding up very quickly, and he wants to make sure that at the end of the day, the victims get as much money as possible in return.
And this next scheduled hearing is expected to take place in April. For helpful tips and links on how to avoid becoming a victim or information on this case, you can go to click2houston.com. We're live in the newsroom. Bill Barajas, KPRC 2 News.